This is a pre-trip inspection video for truck 754. We're going to go over all things on here, including going over your driver's log here specifically. We want the date filled out properly in black or blue ink, makes it official. Full driver's name legibly printed, the vehicle number, the odometer when you get in, what time the payroll starts, what time you leave the yard, what time you return to the yard, and your job start location are also very important. We're going to walk through your pre-trip inspection on what to do on each one of these individual items. We're going to start with my helper who's doing the video here. We're going to start with the headlights and everything in cab. Inside the truck, we're going to turn the headlights on to make sure the headlights do work. Got a confirmation that the headlights work. We're also going to check the high beams at the same time. High beams do work. We're also going to check the marker lights. Marker lights are good. Turn signals. Left turn signal. Left turn signal. Right turn signal. Let's do the four ways. Four ways are good. Can you check me in the back, please? Four ways are good. We're going to check the brake lights. Brake lights are both good. We're going to check our reverse lights. Reverse lights are good. Gotten all the inside interior components done almost. We're going to check next with the caution and safety beacon. So we're going to turn our lights on. Confirmation of the lights working. We're going to check our mirrors and make sure that we have our mirrors. Mirrors are good. Mirrors are good, no damage. Next one we need to check is the windshield. Windshield, we're looking for any cracks, any marks of anything that's going to be a DOT violation. We look good there. We're going to check the windshield wipers. Windshield wipers do work. The other thing you have to check with your windshield wipers is also that you do have the juice in there. So I'll tell my cameraman to watch out there. We do have juice that comes out of both sides of the windshield wipers. That is also required for the DOT. Next one we're going to check is going to be the horn. Horn works. Next one we're going to do is I'm going to ask the cameraman to come around the inside here. You'll check the gauges out. I'm going to make sure that the oil pressure, again, let's turn it on. Got our oil pressure jumps up here, so we're good there. Temperature gauge will warm up as we go. Gas gauge. This is your transmission temperature. You'll see that warm up eventually as the truck gets running, but we want to make sure we don't have any lights on that are inside. You will eventually sometimes see in these trucks the check engine light is on this. We're usually taking a look at this and trying to clear any codes that we can, but sometimes you will see this check engine light inside. Same thing with the tire pressure light. You'll see that come on sometimes as the sensors are not put back in the tires, but just making sure this is not going to give you a safe read, so you want to make sure you're checking your tire pressure as well as part of your daily walk around. All good with the gauges on here. Oops, one more we're going to check is going to be the heater defroster. Defroster on full blast here, that is definitely working. Check, make sure it comes out of the vents. Good there as well. So that'll complete everything on the in-cab checklist in through here. We're going to turn this guy off. We're going to start with the under the hood stuff. When you pop the hood, you'll see that there is a latch underneath on the inside. Slightly raise the cab up and look underneath. There's a latch right inside here that goes left to right. We're pulling it left to right, opening up the cab, opening up the hood. Inside, the first thing we're going to want to check for is the engine oil, one of the most important components. Going forward, you're going to be having to take a picture of your engine oil on all trucks going forward with your pre-trips going forward. So get used to that. Inside this truck, we're going to find the dipstick inside, usually yellow. There he is. Pull him out and check. Thank you, assistant. We're going to clear this guy and check him good. All the way inside. Pull it all the way out. And ideally for our oil with this one, just had an oil change. Check it across the back is going to be a true reading. In between the two holes is where you want to be at there. Right now you can see we're just right smack dab in the middle, so it looks like it's perfect. This guy just had an oil change. Give me that light one more time, please. Yes, sir. Okay. Next things we're going to want to check on our list is transmission oil. So you'll see on this one, as we look at the top here, this is a sealed transmission. There is no dipstick, so you are not able to check the transmission oil on this one. This also tells you what kind of oil you can find in if you are low. This takes 8 quarts of oil, 5W20. That should be listed on the inside of most or all of your trucks. You'll know which one to do. Power steering on this particular truck 754, we have a electrical power steering, so there will be no power steering to check on this guy. I see the light again. Next thing we're going to check here is going to be the belts. The belts, you want to make sure you have basically just this fan belt here. You're going to look at and make sure there's no wear and tear on it, no damage. Looks like it's in good shape here. Next thing we're going to check on our list is going to be the coolant. Pretty simple application on this guy. You can see where it says the radiator fill right here. And if we step back and look at it, I don't know how well the lighting is, but you should be right in between those two lines, which it looks like we are. So we're in good shape on the transmission, or on the coolant. Come around to the other side and check your washer fluid just by simply opening the cap, looking inside, and seeing if there is washer fluid inside. This is, again, a DOT violation if you do not have washer fluid inside your reservoir. Oil leaks is another one that you have to kind of check around for and look. We're going to look underneath and see if there's anything inside the engine that looks like it's got anything leaking. We're definitely looking underneath the truck to make sure that there's nothing underneath. This one, again, just had an oil change, so you're not going to see too much underneath this guy. Steering linkage. We're going to take a look at your tires. You want to make sure there's not going to be anything that's goofy going on. So you can visually inspect all your tires kind of the same way. Make sure the tires are in good tread depth. Right now we're going to focus on the linkage and the front suspension, so we're going to make sure there's nothing moving around or anything that looks off when we're giving it just a little bit of extra love on there. So I'm going to call that good on both sides. I don't see any leaks or anything around the truck underneath that shows that we're leaking anything. So we're going to call that good. The exhaust system, when we fire it up. It's from the air conditioning now. Okay. The exhaust system is going to be something that you're going to get more off of sound. You're going to hear that. You're going to listen for a leak. Or anything that sounds funny whenever you're going over your exhaust system. We're going to continue from under the hood. We're going to go right to around the vehicle. So we're going to walk to the other side. Gas cap. On most trucks you'll see they have the easy fuel, so there is no gas cap. It's just the close. And make sure everything's in proper order there. Doors secure. This one has 4 doors, so we're going to make sure that each door opens and closes without any issues. Pretty self-explanatory. Mud flaps on this truck, we do not have any. Brake components. This is something visually that you're going to see, and you're going to look inside and check out your rotors to see if you've got any grinding or any wear and tear, anything that looks like it's funny on the inside. You want to make sure you're visually checking that on each brake. Walk around the other side and check the other side. Same thing with the rotors. When you're over here looking, you can also get a good look into the springs. Make sure you're seeing everything that's in there. This particular truck, you're going to see some asphalt from someone that had driven into it. But we're looking underneath and we're seeing pretty much everything looks good. Nothing is off, nothing's broken, nothing's rusted out. It's another one we're going to check for things like loose hanging items, anything that you see that's hanging underneath the truck, anything that shouldn't be that's going to catch, anything that's going to hang. Looks pretty good there. Rear suspension is going to be similar to the front linkage. We're going to kind of give it a little bit of extra love in the tires. See if anything's moving around. This guy's pretty solid. Sheldon just got this out of the shop. It's ready to go back out so that everything's good in the back end here. Unusual sounds is another one that's kind of a road test, but you also see that on there. If you hear anything funny, a growling or anything that starts up whenever you fire up the truck. Lug nuts are tight on this one. On a lot of them, let's pan over to this one here. You'll see they do have the half moons on them, so they're kind of hard to see, but you'll have to pop those off. On this one, my assistant has already popped off, so you can take a look and just check and make sure that everything's tight, nothing's loose, any of your bolts are good, and then you'll have to pop that half moon crest back on there. Axle seal leaks. If there's any oil on the back side of the tires is where you're really going to see something along these lines. It's going to be a little bit harder to see here, but just kind of putting your hand underneath, we're not getting anything underneath or from behind in there. Looks like we're in pretty good shape on that end. Come around, check the other side. Any red grease or anything you see on here is going to be a sign that there's something going on with the axle. So you just want to make sure everything looks copacetic. Check the leaf springs out again while you're over here looking, just making sure everything looks visually good to go. Wheels and rims are kind of the same thing. The basic wheel test. This is old honest Abe here. Can stick them inside. As you can see here, we're in plenty good shape. Real simple test to check and make sure you've got plenty good depth on your tires. Make sure they're not baloney flaps. Rims, tires, tread depth, rims, all those things again. Driver's license on person. Bada bing. Proper license for this vehicle. We want to make sure that you are properly licensed, whether it's all trucks are going to have the DOT, so we want everybody to make sure that they have their DOT physical on there. And that would be your next one, medical cards. Proper PPE. In this truck, we have it set up inside. Vest, safety glasses, hard hat, gloves, kind of real simple basic PPE that we expect you to have inside the truck and make sure you're keeping you safe. Toolboxes are only for spray trucks, so you won't see a toolbox inside this truck. The other requirements for driver's items, we make sure we're off duty for 10 hours. Brakes adjusted or self-adjusting, so whenever you get inside the truck, you want to make sure that you've got the ability to stop. Cell phone use is prohibited inside of the truck, so we want to make sure that's another point that we're emphasizing here. Cell phones should not be used. Seat belts are required, so that's another one you want to check whenever you get inside the truck. Simple and easy to do. Most of them have the adjuster on. Grab your seat belt, buckle in, make sure it clasps, and make sure that you're safe inside. Gross vehicle weight. Oops, excuse me. Stop at all DOT checkpoints. There is a bonus involved with a clear DOT checkpoint. At any DOT checkpoint, $250 added to your account from Mr. Alan Chase. Gross vehicle weight is also one that we're going to have to look for on these trucks. On this one, you can see right inside we're listed at oh, there we are. 3450. Here we are, 7,100. Yes, 7,100 gross vehicle weight. The last thing you're going to check on your checklist here is going to be your height. In most vehicles, they'll have them labeled inside, but this one is 9'6". At the last part of your vehicle inspection checklist, you're going to write any deficiencies that you would see that are on here. So if there was something that came up throughout here, we want to know about that so it can go on the driver deficiency sheet so we can get that corrected for you. There's a section that you'll put whether your vehicle is satisfactory or not, your trailer if you have one, in this case we don't, and then you'll sign this to make an official document that you've gone through this. And that's going to be a wrap for vehicle 754.